Think you've already had the puberty talk with your tween? You might be feeling pretty confident, maybe even relieved to have it out of the way. But look, here's the thing, what if you miss something important? Puberty isn't just about body hair and periods, it's about helping your child understand that change is normal and that it looks different for everyone and that they're not alone. When we only cover the basics, kids can end up feeling unprepared or confused or even ashamed when something unexpected happens. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through 6 big picture truths that your tween really needs to hear beyond the usual facts. These are the messages that help kids feel calm, confident, and ready for what's ahead. I've spent over 25 years helping families talk about sex and puberty without shame or awkwardness. And I promise when you fill in the gaps, the whole conversation starts to feel easier. Because here's the truth, if you don't talk about it, someone or something else will. Whether it's their friends, a random meme, or a well meaning YouTube short, they'll still learn about puberty. Just might not be accurate or helpful or kind. Now, stick around to the end because I've got a 1-minute challenge that'll help you actually start the conversation this week. No scripts or big talks required. What if talking to your tween about sex didn't make you want to run for the hills? On Sex Ed for Tween Parents, we ditch the awkward and keep it real with chats that actually work. I'm Cath Hakanson, sex educator, mum, and your guide to handling all the tricky stuff without cringing or making it weird. You've talked about periods, you've mentioned erections, you've explained deodorant, voice changes, maybe even bras. That's a great start. But it's not the full picture because puberty isn't just a checklist of body changes. It's a deeply personal and sometimes even confusing experience that shapes how your child feels about their body, their friendships, their identity, and it's going to impact on them for years to come. So here's 6 things your tween really needs to know, not just about what's happening to their body, but what's going on inside their heart and head too. These are the same messages I use in my puberty talk videos for kids, and they're just as powerful when they come from you. First one is puberty happens to everyone. Now, sounds pretty obvious, right? But tweens actually need to hear it out loud because when their body starts changing, they often feel like it's just them, like they're weird or broken or way ahead or way behind with what's happening to everyone else. So it's really important to remind them that this is a part of growing up, happens to every human body, not just, just not at the same time or in the same way. So puberty happens to everyone. Now, speaking of things that unfold, we're going to move on to the second one. And that is, and this, I tell you what, I lost count of how many kids I've had to share this message to because they just don't know. And that message is that your body knows what to do. One of the most powerful things you can say is to your child is, your body has a plan and it knows what it's doing. Yeah, might feel slow or awkward or totally random, but from growth spurts to hormones, your child's body is following its own internal timeline. So it's important to let them know that just because it feels weird or you're worried that it's happening too fast or it hasn't happened yet or when is it going to happen, just because that feels weird doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. These changes are meant to happen and their body's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So I find that kids need to be reassured that their body is programmed. It knows exactly what it has to do and it'll do it when it's ready. Now, the third thing to tell your child is that feelings change too. So puberty's not just changes on the outside. There's a lot going on in the inside too, both emotionally, socially, and also mentally or psychologically. So there's mood swings. They might be feeling anxiety or self-doubt. There might be friendship dramas. All of this stuff is normal or typical. So it's about letting them know that, their feelings might get a little overwhelming. They might cry more or they might get angry more. And again, they're not the only one that this is happening to as well. Sometimes kids can just feel so alone as they go through puberty. So what happens is they might suddenly care what others are thinking, or they might want more privacy, or they might feel constantly embarrassed. So these shifts don't mean that there's something wrong. It just means that they're growing. Now, the fourth message is you're not alone, because what happens is that often kids, as they're going through puberty, do feel alone and that they're the only person that it's happening to. So we need to let them know that they're not alone and that every adult they know's been through this. Teachers, coaches, older cousins, and even you, the parent, have been through this. So it's about letting them know that, you can ask questions anytime. You're not expected to figure this out alone. It's about reassuring them. And that is just so important, to let them know that, that there's others around them that have been through this as well. Now, the fifth reason, there's no right way to do puberty, and this is a big one. Tweens, they love to compare themselves, the height, their hair, bras, voice cracks, everything. And when they don't match what their friends are going through, they start to worry. And the truth is, there's no normal. There's just ranges or averages or possibilities or what's typical. So it's important for you to help them shift their focus from what's normal to what's true for them, and let them know that their journey of puberty, it's valid, no matter how fast it happens or the path as well. The sixth one is understanding, is confidence. And here's the biggest reason to keep talking. When kids understand what's happening, they feel less anxious and they feel more in control. Puberty isn't so scary when you know what's coming. So the more they know, the less confusing it all becomes. And when knowledge is paired with support and kindness, you're not just helping them through puberty, you're actually building trust for the years that follow. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to walk you through a 1-minute challenge that'll help you get through this conversation without needing a lecture or a diagram. So now you've got a clearer picture of puberty. It's emotional and physical. It's about timing, trust, and talking, not just ticking boxes. And it's not a one and done chat, it's ongoing. But you might be thinking, so where do I start? What do I say? And that's exactly why I've created a free guide for you. 5 cringe-free strategies to naturally start sex ed conversations. And inside it, you'll find 5 practical ways to start the chat. No pressure, no awkward vibes, and tips that make it feel just like another conversation, and simple tools to help build your child's trust and your own confidence. Because if you don't start talking, someone else will. And when the message comes from you, it's wrapped in safety, values, and love. And if you're ever stuck on how to explain something tricky, just remember that I've got the Q&A guides in the sex ed shop and also some puberty guides as well. So they're there to give you that extra support, that if you're not sure about something, that you can turn to it and get that information quickly. Now, the free resource, if you go to cringe-free-strategies.com, that's where you can grab that free guide, or the link will be below this. And you'll be amazed what one little conversation can do. So try one of the strategies tonight. Now, here's your 1-minute challenge. Pick one puberty-related change, like body hair, periods, erections, mood swings, and plan a quiet moment this week to bring it up. That's it, just one. You don't need a script, don't need a lesson plan, and you definitely don't need to wait until they ask. Just a sentence, a gentle nudge in the car, folding laundry, on a walk. My favourite is taking the kid down to the supermarket with you and walking down the toiletries aisle and grabbing deodorant for yourself. Even if you don't need it, just grab it and grabbing it and go, oh, I guess we should probably look at getting you some of this soon, because puberty is going to be starting in the next year or so, or in the next couple of months. That's it. That's all you need to do. And what your child will remember from something like that is that, puberty, it's not about this perfect sit down, have a deep and meaningful conversation. It's about the fact that you're open to talking about it, that you're showing that you care and that you're not afraid to talk about some of the things that are going to happen to them. And these little moments, they're what builds safety and trust. So choose one change and start that conversation. And thanks so much for being here with me today.